welcome back to Pug News Mini. In this episode, we have an interview with LJ about the results of the VNB vs. LJ court case, but before that, we have some other news. Nerdcraft was met with some delays after Spike joined the Spoof Uber Nation roleplay. However, he has since left the roleplay due to some not roleplaying well, and is now back to working on Nerdcraft. Many have complained due to Nerdcraft not coming out when it was expected. However, it is expected to come out this month. The LJ v. VNB case is wrapped up, and LJ was found guilty of corporate conspiracy and was fined 5,000 credits along with the Supreme Court ruling that self-sabotage in companies is now illegal and can be punished by the courts. This also means Pope Francis and VNB will receive ownership of SVMP. Mello has filed an appeal against the Supreme Court itself for not allowing Mello to speak in the LJ v. VNB case despite SVMP having to be taken away from his ownership. He requests to at least be able to defend himself, even if that means not getting his money or the company back. Before we get to the interview with LJ, we have a word from our sponsors. Can you guess who it is? It's time for our interview with LJ. Welcome to the show, LJ.
Thanks for having me on the show. It's nice to be on this side of the desk for once.
What was your opinion on the recent trial?
My opinion on the result of the trial is very mixed, to say the least. I do feel that takeovers, like what happened here, are a part of the free market. They are something to be expected, and they encourage better relationships and better setup in general in companies. Like, I was not forced to sign a contract at VNB. I should have been forced. If I had signed a contract, I would definitely not have done what I did. However, there is nothing against what I did in the law. There is nothing. I didn't even sign a contract. I didn't even break a contract. Like, the only reason that at least in my opinion, the only reason that the trial succeeded in Spike's favor is the fact that he wanted to establish court precedents. He should not have focused. Sorry, I misspoke. He should not have focused so directly on the fact that it sets precedents. Like, I understand it's important that it does. It is absolutely necessary that court precedents exists. But the fact that he did that, rather than proposing legislation, or even mentioning anything similar to this in for legislation after this happened, rather than immediately going to trial and focusing so directly on the precedents, that I don't even know what to say. It's just his focus is obviously, to get myself in trouble. And he succeeded, and I honestly understand that. What I did, honestly, can be considered wrong. I will not say that I did everything correctly, and the way that I did it was perfect. It was not. I completely accept that, and it's, I can't argue against that. And honestly, I agree. A 5,000 fine is completely reasonable. Like, 5,000 credits, honestly, isn't too much considering what happened. And, in general, it's not that bad. But, the fact, especially his allegations of fraud, what I did was he provided a definition of fraud by the Federal Bureau of Investigation of the United States of America. What I did does not constitute that. It does not constitute any definition of fraud that falls under any definition of fraud. It does not. Sorry, I had to compose myself. It doesn't constitute fraud, and his allegations of that are just insane. Also, I feel bad for Mello for, he did not get to defend his property, and that's just all I have to say on that matter.
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining us, LJ. Thank you for watching Pug News Mini. This episode was sponsored by